You are going to be impressed with the range, the lineup of fragrances that I'm going to show you today. For the past 2 weeks, I have barely been able to pull myself away from these 7 fragrances from this one brand. The art, the quality, the type of fragrances that they are, you're really going to want to hear about. Stick around. This is one of those videos that is going to probably introduce you to something in your fragrance journey that you're going to be very glad that you've encountered. We're about to get into it, but before we do, remember to subscribe to the channel. Also, give the video a like if you like it. Let's go. The brand, the house is Day 3 Fragrances. This is a niche fragrance house, but they're sort of what would be considered indie. They have a small range of fragrances, but they are very high quality. They are very unique, but I love the types of fragrances that they've chosen. You're going to understand what I mean in just a moment. So I'm going to tell you about these 7 fragrances. I've been almost wearing them exclusively the past couple weeks. I will tell you, Day 3 sent me these fragrances. Now, I just spent $330 on fragrances today. I spend a lot of money on fragrances because I love them, but also so that I can make videos and tell you about them. The channel makes enough money to pay for itself, and I'm happy with that. But if a brand reaches out and says, hey, we've got some fragrances we want to send you, I often say yes. I probably have 5 or 6 in my inbox right now that I haven't said yes to because I have limited time, and I pretty much say yes to things that I'm interested in, that I want to see. So for any of the trolls that are going to complain about me getting free fragrances, you might want to find another video. For the rest of you, if you are interested in hearing about something super cool and unique, stick around. I'm going to tell you all about them. So I don't know where to start with this. I just want to say that the type of fragrances that they have chosen, each one of them is almost like iconic. It's almost like emblematic. So here's what I mean. Like, they have an iris fragrance done in their particular way. They have a tobacco fragrance. They have a rum and coke fragrance. They have a kind of sweet, spicy fragrance. So they sort of choose these well-known fragrance categories, and they do it with their spin, and they are a Dominican company, and so each of them has some sort of a flair from the Dominican culture, and they just come across very, very cool. So by the way, I don't make any money off of these. I don't have affiliate links. I'm not being paid, anything like that. That's the disclaimer. I got to throw it in every now and then, but let's go ahead. All right, so this first one, this is their Iris fragrance, and this one is pretty unique. It is somewhere between like a Dior Homme Parfum, the Parfum more than even Dior Homme Intense, somewhere between that and like a Prada L'Homme, because somehow they capture that beautiful lipsticky iris, that powdery lipsticky iris, but it's got a fresh edge. There is definitely some sweetness, but there is some freshness that reminds me a little more of like the Prada iris fragrances than more the Dior, Valentino, etc. So this one, you've got in the top, you've got a couple different kinds of citrus, and you've got some cedar. Then you've got some just beautifully done iris, lipsticky, powdery iris that captures that fantasy note of iris that so many of us love, that I love. But then there's also a note of rain in this fragrance, which is pretty unique. There's some other just sort of nuances that set it apart from all of my other iris fragrances, and I have about 30 or so. I've done a video where I cover the ones I had then. I've even got more now. But anyway, this is Say Less. If you like iris, this is a fantastic iris fragrance with very good performance. It's easily an 8-hour fragrance, and I've been super impressed. I have literally probably worn it 8 times in the past 2 weeks. I usually wear 2 or 3 fragrances a day as the day goes on. So anyway, Say Less from Day 3, very cool stuff. All right, this next one, this is their tobacco fragrance. Now, Dominican Republic is known for cigars and tobacco, so it makes sense they would have a tobacco fragrance. And here is their tobacco fragrance. it is a very cool fragrance. It immediately, when I sprayed it on, reminded me of a fragrance that I have raved about on the channel, and that is Nishane Fan Your Flames. That one is a very high quality textured tobacco fragrance that's also got some rum and some coconut. It's unique. It's a sweet, very high quality textured tobacco fragrance. This one has the exact same kind of tobacco note, and it does actually have a good bit of sweetness and a good bit of spice, but the texture and the quality of this fragrance, I put it right on par with Nishane Fan Your Flames, or even Roja Enigma or Creation E. Those fragrances are quite different, but they do have some similarities that remind me of one another, and this one does too. So just very quickly, a couple of the other notes. You've got cardamom, black pepper, tobacco. You've got some hazelnut, you've got some leather, and I think something about that black pepper, cardamom spiciness, also that hazelnut for sweetness instead of more the coconut vibe with the Nishane, and the texture is what strikes me the most and reminds me of some of those other fragrances. It is immediately top 3 tobacco fragrances for me. It's just the truth. So again, this is Philosophia from Day 3. All right, next up, this one is their coffee fragrance. So you see how each one of these is like a major genre of men's fragrance. They're really unisex, but obviously I'm a dude and I'm only going to wear things repeatedly that are masculine enough for me to wear. So this is their coffee fragrance. Dominican Republic is also known for coffee. Dominican coffee is known to be some of the best that you can get. So anyway, this is Laceta de Café, and it is a semi-sweet coffee fragrance, a very realistic coffee note, just the right amount of sweetness. There's only a couple of these that are like very sweet, and they are that way for a very distinct reason. But in this one, it is definitely a fall, winter, dark fragrance. And I'm going to tell you a couple of the other notes as well. Oh, and this is something that I should mention. Many of these are extrait de parfum. The tobacco fragrance I showed you is extrait de parfum. This one is an extrait de parfum, and you've got notes of spiced orange, sweet cream, coffee, vanilla, chocolate, musk, brown sugar, and rose. And that spice in the spiced orange is definitely noticeable. It's definitely distinct. But also the rose and the brown sugar and even that sweet cream, just a touch of kind of a creamy coffee vibe with a little bit of rose. It's sort of a darker rose. Something about the way the notes come together. It is just absolutely an impressive fragrance. I got a bunch of coffee fragrances. Again, I did a whole video where I think I covered 15 or 20 of them. And out of all of them, none of them smell quite like this. Very, very impressive. La Tacita de Café. All right, this next one. This one is also extrait de parfum, and not all of them are as sort of dark and winter focused as the last few that I've shown you. But this one is. This one is Ambar Dominico, and this one is their amber, obviously, Coca-Cola and rum fragrance. So it's like it's their Coke fragrance, their soda fragrance, and a number of niche brands have done that now. And this one's got some very interesting notes. This is one of the very distinctly sweet fragrances. A lot of sweetness in this one. If you like things like Tonka Cola, then you would definitely like this, although it smells very different from Tonka Cola as well. This one's got cola, cinnamon, lime, which right there you're going to get your similarity to Tonka Cola and other things that are similar. But you've also got the rum, patchouli, and amber. And I think that the rum and patchouli add something super unique. It has a sparkly, effervescent, fizzy soda vibe with rum and some sort of dark, mysterious patchouli. This stuff is super impressive, very cool. Amber Dominico. Okay, this next one. This one may be my favorite, not because it's my favorite to wear, but it does what it's trying to do so very well, and I absolutely love it. So this one is called Downtown Deja Vu, and this is one of those fragrances like Mason Martin Margiela does, you know, like in the library, by the fireplace, on the beach or whatever, they're walk on the beach, whatever they're called. You know, they're supposed to invoke some sort of nostalgia, memory with photorealistic notes. Now this one has photorealistic notes such as fruit smoothie and cosmetic counter, cotton candy, suede jacket. These are things that are supposed to bring to mind a trip to downtown whenever you were a kid, or a trip to the mall. And the fruit smoothie and the cosmetic counter are the first things that hit you. It actually literally smells like a fruit smoothie, and the cosmetic counter is that fantasy iris note again, which they do very, very well. So it invokes like a memory or a feeling like you're drinking a fruit smoothie and you go up to the cosmetic counter at the mall. I love that. I just love the way that fragrance can inspire memory and feeling, emotion like really nothing else. And I think that that's a true statement. But then you've also got the cotton candy note. Now the cotton candy note for me really comes out strong about an hour in. And it does, it smells like cotton candy, almost more like cotton candy flavored candy or bubble gum, cotton candy bubble gum, than, because you know, does real cotton candy have a smell? I don't know. But the bubble gum tastes like cotton candy smells or something like that. I don't know. But you get a very distinct cotton candy and then some of that suede. So very well done, so very cool, and I love the photorealistic nature of this fragrance. Downtown Deja Vu. This is a fun fragrance and definitely would lean more feminine than many guys are comfortable with, but not me, not at all. All right, so next up, now this one is significantly fresher than the last 5 or so that I've mentioned. This one is definitely a summer fragrance, and this one is called Bonnie. This is like their tropical mango coconut fragrance, and it is so well done. Obviously, the Dominican Republic has tropical beaches and that very tropical kind of weather and atmosphere. And again, mangoes, coconut, these are things that you would find on a trip there. So I want to tell you a few of the notes, but again, this one is one of their tropical summery fragrances. So this one's got note of mango, mango leaf, grapefruit, lily of the valley, coconut, and musk. And this one has a little bit of a greenness coming from that mango leaf. It's definitely got a mango coconut kind of sweet tropical vibe very distinctly, but then it also does have that lily of the valley and muskiness, which lily of the valley can be like sort of fabric softener vibes, but the combination of these together, I put it almost in the category of like one of those sun tanning oil-like fragrances, just a bit, just some. Like Juliet Has a Gun vanilla vibes or 1 Million Parfum. A little bit of that with mango and coconut, that little bit of a greenness coming from the mango leaf. Very, very cool stuff. This is another one that really invokes the feeling of being on like a tropical vacation. This is Bonnie. Finally, the last one. This is probably the one that I've worn the most. This one, Downtown Deja Vu and Ambar Dominico. This one, this is probably, gosh, it's probably my favorite. There's 4 or 5 that I freaking love. I mean, maybe there's 6 or 7. You know, I'm just trying to be real with you, but this one is called Trace Oros, and this is like their Clive Christian Blonde Amber or even Angel Share. This is like their very sweet fragrance that's got some spice and just, it's that very warm, sweet fragrance. And if you don't like sweet fragrances, you won't like this one. But it reminds me of even a little bit like Latafa Kamra, but whereas Kamra's got a little bit of that kind of Middle Eastern synthetic oud, that actually is a note in Kamra, this one is much more leaning naturalistic, a much more naturalistic sweet fragrance like that. But I'm gonna give you the notes. And this one is Extrait de Parfum, and I meant to mention that as I've gone along. The coffee one is an Extrait de Parfum. This one has notes of pineapple and orange in the opening. So you've got that sort of tart, sweet, citrus and pineapple, so sweet, tart fruitiness in the opening. But then you've got, and this is my absolute favorite thing about the fragrance, you have a sweet plantain note. So basically banana. There's like a banana note in this one with some cinnamon, with some nutmeg. So warm, sweet, spicy, Angel Share, Clive Christian Blonde Amber-esque fragrance with basically a banana note, sweet plantain. It is out of this world. It is such a unique, cool twist on that type of fragrance. And just a couple other of the notes. You got honey, brown sugar, and amber. And so I am just telling you, if you like sweet fragrances and those that I mentioned, this one is really something special. Trace Oros. This is a brand that knows what it's doing. They know their audience. They understand what kind of frag heads are going for, with half of their fragrance being extrait de parfum, each of their fragrance being like a category that is very popular, but they're putting a Dominican twist, a Dominican spin on it. I love it, and as soon as I got these, I feel like I understood the brand. I see what they're going for, I see what they're doing, and I love it. So at this point, I don't have a discount code. If I get one, I'll put it down below. But I will have a link, and I'm just giving you my recommendation. If any of these sound interesting, there are none of them that I have a caveat to say, like, you might not like this because, unless you don't like unisex fragrances or things that can have some feminine elements. That is something that some of you might not like. But I don't wear fragrances that I find feminine, and each of these I think are squarely unisex and are very, very cool. If you happen to have tried anything from them, I know there's a number of the YouTubers I watch who do have a number of these fragrances and like them. If you've tried them, let me know down below. What do you think? Also, consider giving the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.